Happy Tuesday, everybody. Back at it. We're working. We're not going to work real hard. It's the 11th day of February 2025. I'm Dan Kuntz. One of the reasons we're not going to work real hard is that it's real cold. We've already set a new record low for February 11th. The old record 12 degrees set back in 1981 and tied in 2019. Well, we blew past that. 9 degrees right now in the Wenatchee Valley. So we have a new record low. Congratulations. We'll issue a commemorative coin, but we don't get to take the lead on that. Manson right now is at 2 degrees. 2 degrees. That's 2 degrees above like no degrees. It's cold. We're going to have to deal with this again today, tomorrow, and Thursday. Things will start changing late Thursday afternoon into Thursday night. Warming, not a big dramatic warm up. It'll take a little while to get there. We're going to see clouds, we're going to see warmer and milder temperatures, and we're going to see some snow, especially on Saturday. Your very cold weather forecast is on the way, but this is definitely the coldest temperatures of the entire winter we have seen so far. It's chilly. News, yes. Sports, pretty quiet, but we'll got what we got for you. The Wenatchee Wild are back from their 6-game trip up in Canada. They were gone for 11 days. Wasn't a particularly fruitful trip for them. They went 1-5 on the road trip. They still have one more road game tonight in Spokane before they play finally at home again. They haven't played at home this month. That'll be on Friday. Austin Drade, by the way, will be my guest in the back half of the program to talk a little Wild hockey and everything else that we normally take care of on this Tuesday. Oh, and it's Election Day. I almost forgot. It's Election Day for some people. If you live within the confines of the Wenatchee School District, the Manson School District, or the Cascade School District, you got some things to decide today. You got to get your ballot into your local auditor's office by 8 o'clock tonight. It has to be postmarked by 8 o'clock tonight if you're mailing it, but if you mail it today, it ain't going to get there by 8 o'clock tonight, as you well know. 2 slides to show for you from the National Weather Service. This is an updated slide. We've been showing you these quite a bit lately. Your projected overnight lows, because we're not quite there yet. Usually the very coldest temperature of each day is right around 15 to 20 minutes after sunrise. So even though we're at 9 now, we could still get a little bit colder. Everybody's dealing with really, really cold temperatures. Again, we've already set a record low. Gradually, we're going to start warming up. It really begins on Friday, but the transition is going to be on Thursday night when the temperatures won't be as cold. Still chilly. You got to remember now, our normal afternoon high this time of the year is 40 degrees. Yesterday we hit 26, and that's about what we're going to get to today. So we've now had 8 straight days with our high temperature below normal, in many cases well below normal, and that's going to extend to about 11 days before we finally warm up. And changes are coming, as I mentioned already. Going to be cold and dry and sunny today, cold and dry and sunny on Wednesday. The clouds will start thickening up Thursday afternoon. Could see some overnight snow Thursday night, and then a gradual warming trend starting really on Friday and going all the way through into the early part of next week. Remember, Monday is a holiday. Monday is President's Day, for those of you who have Monday off. But we're going to be a good 10 degrees warmer on Friday than we're going to see on Thursday. It gives you an idea of how we're going to warm up. But again, snow is in the forecast from the National Weather Service. It looks something like this. Did I mention it's cold? Lots of sunshine today, a high of about 26, which is exactly what we hit yesterday. The 2 coldest overnight lows are going to be overnight tonight into Wednesday and overnight Wednesday into Thursday. 8 for the overnight low tonight, 7 for the overnight low tomorrow night. You factor in the wind chill, below 0. Yeah, lots of sunshine. That's not going to be the problem, but really cold temperatures, well below about 15 to 16 degrees below normal. Thursday, we start making that transition. Still going to be cold, but the overnight low is going to be a lot milder. On Friday, we start talking about snow. Not a lot of chance of snow. It's certainly going to be warmer. Best chance of snow is really going to be Saturday night into Sunday. And Sunday, we could actually get a rain-snow mix as we climb up above the freezing mark. A lot of it is going to depend on where you're going to be at. And we're looking at snow and rain mixed together on Monday as well, with a high of 40, which is the federal holiday. All right, going to take a break. When we come back, the headlines on this Tuesday. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel.
There's no place like home, because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories. And we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier. Total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
Central Washington Water is your solution for problem water. Whether you're on a well or municipal water, they can design a clean water system custom to you. Soft water eliminates water spots and scaling on fixtures. It protects appliances from hard water damage, saving you money. Soft water reduces soap usage that causes skin irritation and is a healthier choice to drink. Call for a free in-home consultation or stop by the store to have your water tested. Central Washington Water, your best water solution for home, pool, and spa.
The family at the Eplidolin want to help your loved one feel at ease in their new home environment. Eplidolin offers beautiful one-bedroom and studio apartments. Residents enjoy 3 delicious home-style meals a day, laundry service, housekeeping service, and encouragement to make themselves cozy in their new home. Eplidolin welcomes your family to come and visit their family. Eplidolin, independent and assisted living. They make the complicated easy for you. Call today for a tour.
Let Mary Maid's custom cleaning experts help you clean up your to-do list. Between work, kids, and pets, it's hard to find time to keep up. Let Mary Maids of Wenatchee help. Mary Maid's cleaning experts can help keep your home or business fresh, neat, and exactly how you'd clean it, if only you had the time. Call now for a free estimate, 509-663-1710. Serving Chelan and Douglas counties, Mary Maids, let us help.
We actually dropped a degree while we were in commercial break. It's now 8 degrees, so we have a new record low for February 11th. We set it by 4 degrees. We may even get colder as the sun begins to come up. We're going to be sunny and cold today, tomorrow, most of Thursday. We warm up over the weekend, but an increasing chance of snow, especially Saturday night, possibly mixed with rain on Sunday. It's 7 minutes after the hour. The identity of the bus driver that was one of 4 people killed in Sunday afternoon's multi-vehicle accident has been released. The Washington State Patrol says that 66-year-old Michael W. Meacham of Spokane, he was the man behind the wheel of the Northwestern Stage Line's charter bus that was struck head-on by a Toyota Camry that was attempting to pass a third vehicle. Meacham was declared dead at the scene. A news release from the Spokane-based bus company described Meacham as, quote, talented and dedicated, end quote. The identity of the passenger on the bus that died at Confluence Health Hospital has not been released. The Eastmont School District confirming to us that one of the teenagers killed in the Camry was an Eastmont High School junior, the other a former student. Counseling services were offered for students who might have known them. The precise cause of the crash is still under investigation. Wenatchee police officers responded to this 911 call on Sunday morning when a car headed north on Western Avenue failed to make the turn onto Maiden Lane. And when the driver continued to go straight, the car ran over an electrical box. That acted as a ramp, and that caused the vehicle to fly up and land on top of another vehicle that was parked in a driveway. According to Wenatchee Police Captain Brian Chance, potential factors in the crash are believed to be speed and distraction. Nobody was injured, but there was damage done to the property and the electrical box. Chelan County says nearly $525,000 in grants will be distributed to local programs that strive to fight opioid abuse. The county will disperse this funding to the Chelan County Regional Justice Center, Chelan County Superior Court, and the Center for Drug and Alcohol Treatment here in town. The county has received $1.1 million so far out of a $371.8 million settlement from 5 companies that produced and sold opioids across the country. Settlement dollars will go towards the installation of medical sensors, a therapeutic court and recovery support coordinator, a clean and sober housing, mental and physical health providers, and more. New legislation to support local farmers and producers was introduced Thursday in Congress. 8th District Representative Kim Schreier was joined by 4th District Congressman Dan Newhouse to introduce the Agriculture Export Promotion Act, is what they're calling it. It would support farmers by increasing investment in foreign market development programs and the market access program. The two federal programs work to promote and sustain agricultural exports. The legislation is aimed to ensure that farmers would have additional support because of threatened tariffs from Canada, Mexico, and China. Students at the Beaver Valley Elementary School in Plain have been documenting wildlife through an ongoing trail cam project for almost 5 years now. Their work has gotten some attention. In fact, last month, the students were invited to show off their work at the 4th Annual Student Environmental and Sustainability Literacy Summit that was held in Lacey on January 29th. It was hosted by the Pacific Education Institute and the OSPI, and it featured just 5 elementary schools from across the state, and Beaver Valley was one of them. The kids there got to show their trail cam work, which documents the migrations of wild animal species throughout the upper Wenatchee Valley, and they also got to meet with state legislators from the 12th District in Olympia. Special Olympics Washington is recruiting. They need volunteers or it doesn't happen. Of course, this year's Winter Games is coming up. The Winter Games celebrating their 35th year here in the Wenatchee Valley, and in June, Special Olympics Washington will mark its 50th anniversary. Winter Games, Friday, February 28th to Sunday, March 2nd. Wenatchee will host 1,200 participants and coaches from across the state. I had a chance to speak recently with Recreation Supervisor Carol Andre from the city of Wenatchee about volunteer opportunities.
There's opportunities for everyone to do any. Families can come in and they can scorekeep at a gym. Have your family of 5 come down. If you're a skier, you can help out up there. There's just so many. You can help with the opening ceremonies at the Town Toyota Center. It's massive. We utilize close to 100 volunteers just for opening ceremonies.
How do people volunteer?
They can go to the Special Olympics Washington state site, and it's all online. And you can there's a list of all the different opportunities all over the valley and how long it is, like a couple hours, or if you want to do it all day. You just pick what you want to volunteer for and sign up.
And speaking of Special Olympics, the Polar Plunge takes place February 22nd in Wenatchee to support Special Olympics Washington. It's the Polar Plunge. You do that, you jump into the lagoon at Walla Walla Point Park. It raises funds for Special Olympics. Walla Walla Point Park, the location, noon on February 22nd. In-person registration starts at 11. There will be a costume contest. Individuals are encouraged to register online ahead of time. It's $25 per person to throw yourself into the Columbia River, but you don't really have to do it if you don't want to. And you also have to commit to raise additional funds for Special Olympics. Go get 'em. I did that once, and I'm never going to do it again, but I did it once. It is Election Day. Quick heads up. Not a lot going on. It's all school stuff. The big one is Wenatchee. The Wenatchee School District has their replacement educational programs and operation levy on the ballot today. If you live in the Cascade School District, there are 2 things on the ballot. They are also running an educational programs and operations levy, a renewal of that, and they're also on the ballot will be a replacement capital levy for safety, security, technology, and facility improvements for the Cascade School District. And up in the Manson School District, same deal, a replacement educational programs and operations levy and a replacement capital levy to improve school safety, security, technology, and facilities. And your ballot must be postmarked by 8 o'clock tonight or in the auditor's office by 8 o'clock tonight. So no more dilly-dallying. That's the news at 14 minutes after the hour. If you're interested in what's going on around here, we invite you to watch the news tonight. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. 5, 6, and 10 on television. If that doesn't work, you want to watch the news whenever you want to. You're pointed a click away, and you got 3 options to do it. You can watch our evening news by going to our Facebook page. You can watch our evening news by going to our YouTube page. And you can watch the evening news by simply going to our homepage, NCWLIFE.com. If there's something out there you think is newsworthy, you let us know by sending us an email, news@ncwlife.com. Sports is 2 minutes away. You're watching a Tuesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Global Car Care has the best customer service in the Valley. From the moment you walk in the door, their goal is to help you stay on the road, so you can keep doing what's important to you. Global Car Care certified ASE mechanics stand behind your automotive repairs.
When you buy tires at Les Schwab, you're getting more than just tires. You're getting America's best tire warranty, 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. So if something happens to your tire on the road, we'll fix it, or we'll replace it, no questions asked. Other places make you pay extra for that kind of protection, but at Les Schwab, it's included with every set of tires, because more warranty means less worry, and nobody stands by their tires like Les Schwab. Get more from Les.
Hey, hon, would you run this around to the wash rack?
Oh, okay.
Hey, hon, what happened?
They shrunk the truck.
The all-new midsize Canyon is now available at Sangster Motors.
After 60 years, this President's Day is the last and final President's Day ever for Crown Furniture in Wenatchee. We're going out of business. All fine furniture must be sold immediately. Now through President's Day, extra discounts will be in effect store-wide. Prices slashed even lower than our already low liquidation prices. It's the President's Day sale to beat all President's Day sales. Everything is in stock and ready to go. Take it home today or take fast delivery. Our last and final President's Day ever at Crown Furniture. After 60 years closing the doors and going out of business forever.
Wow, that's cool. I love those birds up at Lake Wenatchee. All right, I got sports to do. Wenatchee Wild back from their 6-game road trip to Canada, but they still have another matchup away from home. It is tonight as they travel to Spokane to take on the Chiefs. The Wild are 2-8 in their last 10. They are currently in 9th place in the WHL's Western Conference. They have 41 points. Spokane is 7-2-1 in their last 10. Then their 69 points puts them in 3rd place. The Wild play their first home game since January 28th this Friday against Portland. Prep basketball, it is the last week of the regular season for the big schools, the Columbia Basin Big Nine. It will be senior night at East Wenatchee tonight. The Wenatchee and Eastmont girls will tip off at 5:30. That'll be streaming on our Facebook page, our NCWLIFE Facebook page. The Wenatchee and Eastmont boys game at 7 o'clock tonight will be streaming on our homepage and televised on the NCWLIFE channel. Grant Olson will have the call from the Eastmont High School gymnasium. The smaller schools are already in the postseason. This is the all teams to district Central Washington 2B girls tournament. So this is basically seeding. All of these teams will play in district. It just depends on who they're going to play. Number 4 Tenaska will take on number 3 seeded Lake Roosevelt. That'll be in Okanagan tonight at 5:30. In Omak tonight at 6 o'clock. Number 2 Okanagan will take on number 1 Brewster. Again, all 4 of these teams will move on to district. Not the case in the District 5 1B girls tournament. These are loser out games. You win, you keep playing. You lose, you're done. 7th seed Orville travels to number 6 seed Antioch at 6 o'clock. And the Cascade Christian Academy girls will travel to Moses Lake Christian at 7:30. Again, these are loser out games. The District 5 2A boys tournament gets underway tonight. The lower seeds are in loser out games. So number 8 seed Quincy will be at number 5 seed East Valley at 6 o'clock tonight. Lose and you're done. Win, you move on. And the 7th seeded Afraid of Tiger boys will take on number 6 Toppenish and Toppenish, also at 6 o'clock, also in a loser out game. And these the other 4 games are all you will advance. The other 4 teams. Number 4 Ellensburg will take on the number 1 seed Grandview at 6 o'clock tonight. The 3 seed is Sela. They'll take on number 2 Prosser at 6 o'clock. Those teams have all guaranteed they will move on in the postseason. Now the District 5 1A boys tournament gets underway. These are all double eliminations, so even if you lose, you're not dead yet. Number 3 seed Chelan will host Keona Benton at 6 o'clock. The number 2 seed is Zilla. They'll play host to the 7th seed Omak at 6 o'clock. Also at 6 o'clock, number 4 Cashmere welcomes Wapato to their gymnasium. And the number 1 seed in the District 5 1A boys tournament is Royal. They will host Wahluke at 6 o'clock tonight. Again, those are all double elimination games. And those are just some of the games that people are playing. At 20 minutes after the hour, there are 11 obscure holidays, 11 of them. Happy Foundation Day in Japan. This is the day they think Japan was founded in like 600 BC or something like that. It's the anniversary of the foundation of Vatican City. It was on this date in the late 20s that fascist Italy signed a contract with the Pope, so Italy would just leave Vatican City alone. It would become its own sovereign state. It's Armed Forces Day in Liberia. It's a Youth Day in Cameroon. Have fun with that. A little closer to home, it's National Latte Day. It's National Get Out Your Guitar Day. Doesn't say if you're supposed to play it. It's Safer Internet Day. It's National Inventors Day. We'll get to that in just a little bit. It's National Peppermint Patty Day. It's National Don't Cry Over Spilt Milk Day today. We're not doing any of those. Today is National Make a Friend Day. Now, how one is supposed to go out and purposely make a friend, I don't know. Does it come naturally, kind of organically? Fun facts about friendship. Only 1 out of 12 friendships will last a significant length of time. Most people will make about 400 friends, give or take a few during your lifetime. According to a recent Gallup poll, Americans have an average of 8 close friends. But according to that same poll, 2% of respondents have no close friends, and 14% of those respondents said they only have 1 or 2 what they would describe as close friends. According to science, not having any friends at all is really bad for your health. You really need to have friends. So if you don't have any, go out and get some. It's been proven time and time again that marriages will last longer between people who have built their marriage on a strong friendship. Friendships, of course, make people more empathetic. There's no question about that. Animals can form lifelong friendships with other animals. There is a downside. Oh, there you go. Look at that. There is a downside, though. People who gain a new romantic partner may lose 2 or 3 of their friends because they don't like the romantic partner. We all know that loneliness is a serious problem right here in this country. It started during the COVID pandemic. And my favorite quote, and I wish I had said this myself, I didn't, I don't know who said it, but it's something I remember from a long time ago. A true friend is someone who knows everything about you but likes you anyway. Today is National Go Out and Make a Friend Day today. I'll make a point of it. 22 minutes after the hour, today in history, February 11th, 1963, the Beatles go to Abbey Road Studio and make their album, Please Please Me. They recorded the whole album in 3 sessions. They started at 10 in the morning. They wrapped it up at 10:45 that night with John Lennon's vocal on Twist and Shout. The album cost just £400 to make, and it sold about 10 million copies so far, so you might say that EMI got their money's worth. They recorded the 10 songs that ended up on the album. 4 songs, Love Me Do, P.S. I Love You, Ask Me Why, and Please Please Me, had already been recorded a few months before. Those 10 tracks were recorded on this date in 1963, so the Beatles could release an actual album. They were supposed to record a live album. They went to the Cavern Club in Liverpool, about 200 miles northwest of London. They said, we can't record an album in this dump. So they basically recorded their live set in the studio, and rock and roll history was made. 2 significant events from 35 years ago today, February 11th, 1990. Nelson Mandela, after 27 years as a political prisoner in South Africa for protesting apartheid, is released from Victor Verster Prison just outside of Cape Town. He is free. He would eventually become the president of South Africa. And February 11th, 1990, 35 years ago today, I will never forget this day. The fight was in Tokyo early on Sunday morning, so it could be broadcast in prime time to the United States on Saturday, February 11th, 1990. I was in Las Vegas at the Caesars Sportsbook, and I'll tell you what happened after you watch the greatest upset in boxing history.
Rolling willingly just to try to get in the shot that will finish things in his favor. The uppercut. What an uppercut by Douglas, and down goes Tyson.
It's over. It's over.
Mike Tyson has been knocked out.
Unbelievable. This makes Cinderella look like a sad story, what Buster Douglas has done here tonight.
Let's go ahead and call it the biggest upset in the history of heavyweight championship fights. Say it now, gentlemen. James Buster Douglas, undisputed heavyweight champion of the world.
My buddy Greg and I were at the tail end of a long cross-country road trip. We were in Las Vegas. We were pretty much out of money. We had just enough money to buy food and gas to get back to Wenatchee. Buster Douglas was a 42-1 underdog, and Greg convinces me to bet money on Buster Douglas, and I don't know why. He talked me into it. I said, we don't have any dough. We're going to be lucky if we have enough money to make it back to Wenatchee, but we did it anyway. Buster Douglas won. We were staying at Bob Stupek's Vegas World, which is the Motel 6 of Las Vegas resorts. We checked out and checked into the suite of the nicest resort we could find because we won a ton of money when Buster Douglas knocks out Mike Tyson 35 years ago today. One of the fondest memories I have. And we're not done with Super Bowls yet. You think we would be, but we're not. 1 year ago today, Kansas City beat the 49ers 25-22 in overtime. Of course, to win Super Bowl LVIII. Super Bowl 58 was 1 year ago today in Las Vegas. This was the second ever overtime Super Bowl. The attendance for last year's Super Bowl in Las Vegas, 61,629. It's the smallest non-COVID Super Bowl attendance because that's all that Allegiant Stadium can hold. So it wasn't a big crowd on hand. And the longest Super Bowl in history of time played. There was 74 minutes and 57 seconds of actual football. Well, when it goes into overtime and deep in overtime, that is what's going to happen. Super Bowl 58 was 1 year ago today. And birthdays. We have 3 heavenly birthdays. I mentioned today is National Inventors Day because this guy was born in 1847, Thomas Edison. The light bulb, the phonograph record, mass generation of electricity. There's very few things that we don't use every day that he didn't have a hand in. He ended up with 1,093 patents. And of course, he was very protective of those patents that he owned. Thomas Edison, the most famous inventor in this country's history, born on this date in 1847. Leslie Nielsen was born 99 years ago today in Regina. Believe it or not, he's Canadian. Of course, eventually moved to the United States, became a very famous actor in dramatic roles. And then along came the movie Airplane, and Leslie Nielsen, who always played the cop, or the ship's captain, all of a sudden became a comedy legend. Leslie Nielsen. Don't Call Me Shirley, born in the state in 1926. Burt Reynolds, the highest grossing movie actor for a 5-year period between 1978 to 1982. He was the highest grossing movie actor in Hollywood. After that, of course, he fell on some pretty hard times. Burt Reynolds, born in the state in 1936. We lost Burt in 2018 at the age of 82. How about some living people? How about Ginger, the last surviving member of the Gilligan's Island cast, and the one person who said her career was ruined by being typecast as Ginger in Gilligan's Island. Tina Louise is 91 years old today. She just has a new memoir out. 91, wow, I'm old. Happy 63rd birthday to Sheryl Crow. She's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. She was inducted a couple of years ago. Sheryl Crow is 63 years old. And Jennifer Aniston celebrates birthday number 56 today. Jennifer Aniston and her 5 co-stars of Friends, of course, as you probably know by now, for the final season, the last season of Friends, each cast member, all 6 of them, were paid $1 million per episode because they insisted you take all of us or none of us. Smart move. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. For heat and air, call Alpine Air, but we're talking about heat, of course. How's your system holding up? It's cold. It's going to stay cold. My system has basically been running nonstop for, I don't know, weeks on end. It's designed to do that, but if it starts acting up and you think your HVAC system needs a look-see, or maybe you just want a new one, your first call, always, to Alpine Air, our platinum sponsors. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. Mike Minotti has got an opinion. If you read the Sunday Seattle Times, very interesting article on the Leavenworth Cross. Mike has an opinion on that as well. And Austin Drade and Hockey Talk, Wenatchee Wild back in the United States, but they need some W's. Austin will join me when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel.
Hey, welcome back to Save Mart. What can we help you find today? We're looking for a mattress.
Oh, right this way. We got a large selection. We have this pillow top here.
Oh, comfortable.
We have more to choose from down here.
Oh.
I think I have the perfect one over here for you.
I guess we'll take this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
Hey there, folks. Blueberry Carrie here to invite you on out to Blueberry Hills to experience some real treats. Take a look at our homemade cream pies, our amazing cheesecakes, and don't forget our famous banana pudding. Remember, we're more than just great treats. People come from all over the world to experience what has been called one of the best destination restaurants in the Pacific Northwest. So come on out and see what all the fuss is about. Blueberry Hills in Manson. It's where the world is coming to.
When getting the job done right is job one, you need construction equipment that's built right. With durable Kubota engines, more comfort, and the versatility to do it all. You need the Kubota construction lineup. Right now, write it off a lot and write it off your taxes for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 60 months or save up to $4,000.
When you've been in business for 40 years, it's because you understand change and you put members first, always. Now Works is announcing a change in their membership model. Up to 6 people on one membership that you can mix and match. The more people, the bigger the discounts. Introducing the Works shared membership model. One membership, friends and family and flexibility. Works, the cleanest, friendliest, most helpful gyms you and your friends will ever join.
After 60 years, this President's Day is the last and final President's Day ever for Crown Furniture in Wenatchee. We're going out of business. All fine furniture must be sold immediately. Now through President's Day, extra discounts will be in effect store-wide. Prices slashed even lower than our already low liquidation prices. It's the President's Day sale to beat all President's Day sales. Everything is in stock and ready to go. Take it home today or take fast delivery. Our last and final President's Day ever at Crown Furniture. After 60 years closing the doors and going out of business forever.
Central Washington Water is your solution for problem water. Whether you're on a well or municipal water, they can design a clean water system custom to you. Soft water eliminates water spots and scaling on fixtures. It protects appliances from hard water damage, saving you money. Soft water reduces soap usage that causes skin irritation and is a healthier choice to drink. Call for a free in-home consultation or stop by the store to have your water tested. Central Washington Water, your best water solution for home, pool, and spa.
Hey, this is Mike, Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, that lighted cross in South Wenatchee and the planned one in Leavenworth, they got me thinking. Now, this is America, where our Constitution guarantees freedom of religion. It does not allow promoting one religion over the other. No, it doesn't. And now, how would the cross supporters feel if our Jewish folks wanted to put up a huge lighted Star of David overlooking the valley? Well, how about it if our Muslim devotees built an illuminated crescent and star that we had to look at every night? You know, at least those two faiths have some justification in saying they want to stand up against persecution, where we of the Christian faith really do not. No, we don't. This is Mike, Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Caught in a conflict? Family, workplace, neighbor, business, housing disputes? Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center provides mediation services, a cost-effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to disputes and issues. Plus, we offer mediation training and community education on conflict resolution and communication skills. Contact us to learn more.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether,
we provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
The family at the Epladolin want to help your loved one feel at ease in their new home environment. Epladolin offers beautiful one-bedroom and studio apartments. Residents enjoy 3 delicious home-style meals a day, laundry service, housekeeping service, and encouragement to make themselves cozy in their new home. Epladolin welcomes your family to come and visit their family. Epladolin, independent and assisted living. They make the complicated easy for you. Call today for a tour.
There's no place like home, because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories, and we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
If it's Tuesday, that means Hockey Talk with our very own good buddy Austin Drade, the broadcasting voice of the Wenatchee Wild. Their long Canadian road trip is a done deal. 6 games in 10 days?
9 days.
9 days. 6 games in 9 days. We won 1. We beat Boost Jaw. But who's kidding who, Austin, before we run highlights, if you want to call it that, of the Regina game, the Swift Current game from over the weekend. Not what Coach Don was looking for, obviously, and the team.
It really wasn't. It was a trip where 6 games in 9 days is incredibly hard. It's taxing on the guys physically. It's taxing on them mentally. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago. It's like being a rock band on tour. You're in a new town and playing a new show every single night. But it's taxing for the guys. You really have to kind of gut your way through it and grit it out. And it was a trip where we'd play really well for stretches, but we wouldn't be able to put that full 60 minutes together. We'd play a great first period, play a great second, we'd hang on to the game in the third, and our grip would slip, and a good team on the other side would take it from us. Or we'd get off to a slow start, and we'd come roaring in the second and third period, but we're in too big a hole to dig out of. So it was a week of close but not quite, and there was a lot of that on the trip. Saw some really good things, probably not consistently enough to get more than 3 points out of the trip.
We had a trouble putting the puck in the back of the net. That was the biggest thing. We weren't scoring too many goals, and there's a reason for that. We'll get to that in just a little bit. Some personnel issues that happened. But before we go any further, let's talk about the weekend, because we have footage of our loss to Regina. This is a team we should have beat. Who's kidding? Regina, by the way, hometown of Leslie Nielsen. Did you know that?
That's right.
Yeah, they say his ghost haunts their arena there. We're going to show highlights, if you will, of our 4-2 loss to Regina on Friday. For you folks at home, I'm going to ask you, please use your televisions, Austin, if you don't mind using the monitor here in the studio. Here you go. This is Regina from Friday night.
Well, Wenatchee taking the puck ahead, a long toss ahead to Lucas Urbina, drives the net. He did that a lot this weekend. This one he puts away. Up top, everybody, high five, 1-0 Wenatchee. But Regina would come back with a shot from the right point. That one gets through, and this one makes it a tie game. A lot of traffic in front of the net. Brendan G not able to see it the whole way through, and that one gets tipped by. That doesn't help. Keats Fawcett with the setup, but Zach Moore finishes, and the Pats tie this one up. They would take the lead with about 5 minutes to go in the period. Zachary Lansard, he's 16 years old, but he plays a lot older than that, face and fire, and puts the Regina Pats in the lead. But how about this one with Ty Spencer helping out as well, but the goal goes to Lucas Sherbina from the right faceoff dot. His second of the game after a four-goal game just the night 3 nights before, and that would tie it up. This one a redirect though in front to make it 3-2, and this one, let me just get that out of here, stay out of there though. 4-2 is the final score. The Regina Pats grab the win, a hard-fought victory for the Pats. Only their 14th of the season, a team in the midst of a rebuild here in 24 and 25. They made 18 trades before the trade deadline. They want to really load up for a future run. Kind of knew that this season wasn't going to come together for them, so tore some things down to really build for the years to come. And unfortunately, they came on late and grabbed one from the guys on Friday.
Regina, with all due respect, isn't that good. We should have won on Friday. Our last game before the long 19-hour bus trip back home was Swift Current, who came from behind, forced overtime, and another Wenatchee loss. Once again, Austin Andrade, please use the monitor here in the studio. You folks at home, your televisions will work just fine. Swift Current highlights from Saturday.
Wenatchee getting things started with 5 minutes left, actually 4.5 left in the first period. Shot down the slot from Dawson Seitz, and Ty Spencer there to bang it in. He's from Saskatoon. He had a good road trip with points in 5 of 6. Wild trying to keep the lead in the final 2 minutes, and that's not gonna help. A chance in front, swatted home on the power play, a late penalty for the Wild, and about halfway through it, the Swift Current Broncos tap it in to get it to a 1-1 tie and send this one to overtime. That's fine. Wild aren't in the standings race with Swift Current. They'll take 2 points anyway. They can get them. Shot from Carlin Dezained from the right dot. It just trickles through, and Carlin Dezained gets the Broncos the victory with 43.7 seconds on the overtime clock and gives the Broncos a 2-1 overtime victory. The Wild get one pivotal point out of it, but a game that Wild played really well for more than 40 minutes of, led for 43, hanging on to that game for as long as they could, and the Broncos just able to pull the fingers off the grip at the very end and grab that one.
When your game goes into overtime, of course, between the first and second period, between the second and third period, the Zamboni comes out. The ice is smooth, the ice is fast, and as the period progresses, the ice gets rougher and rougher. But when they go from the third period to overtime, do they run the Zamboni out? They don't, which means the ice is pretty choppy, isn't it?
The ice is choppy, and they switch ends, which means that we call it the long change in the second period. Your defensemen have to come further to get off the ice. They do that again in overtime, and that helps ramp up the scoring a little bit, helps ensure that the game has a lower chance of having to go into a shootout and be decided there. But the ice gets slower. The guys really have to, even though it's 3-on-3 and it plays fast, the guys really have to kind of muck their way through it sometimes. But having the ice real wide open really helps, and having the long change, I think, really helps offenses find a way to get through. But it was a frustrating end to a week that I think the guys had higher hopes for.
There's no question about that. They did pull out one victory over Moose Jaw. Moose Jaw is the worst team in the entire Western Hockey League. They mauled him. It was, what, 8-1?
8-2, yeah.
8-2 up there against Moose Jaw. 7 of our 8 goals were accounted for by just 2 players. You mentioned who had the 4 goals. I'm sorry, I just drew a blank.
Lucas Sherbina had 4.
Lucas Sherbina had 4, and Sean Rios had 3 goals, so they both had hat tricks. That was against Moose Jaw. The next day, we lost Sean Rios to a game misconduct penalty and a suspension. He was, I think, our #1 goal scorer, wasn't he?
Tied for #1. He did score 3 of those during an early season stretch with Tri-City. So he doesn't have all of those 21 goals with us, but he is tied for the team lead right now.
Talk about Sean's major misconduct, game misconduct penalty and the subsequent suspension.
Yeah, so against Brandon, he took a penalty for a check to the head about 5 minutes into the second period. Showed it on the replay. It was one that had to be called, and lost him for the rest of the game. Found out we knew he was going to be out for Friday's game at Regina, so he didn't play that night, and ended up picking up a 6 game time off for that one. So we'll be without one of our top scorers. He's had a hot stick for us right now, so that means that scoring is going to have to come from other guys in the lineup. And right now we've got some lines that have kind of cooled off here. We're going to need somebody to really step up and take the lead for scoring for us right now. We've had injuries through the season. We've had guys out of the lineup as the season has gone on, and we've been able to get guys in and take over those roles and step up to the challenge when we've needed them to. And now over the next few games, we're going to need somebody to step up and do that again for us.
6-game suspension from the Western Hockey League front office. How exactly does that work? They review the tape and then they say, okay, you're going to be gone for. You have to sit for 2 games, 3 games, whatever. How's that? And is there an appeals process? How does that whole thing work when a player's eligibility is in question because of a game misconduct?
I'm not certain on the appeals process, but yeah, that's a decision that's made by the WHL officer. There are several factors that come into play. Has he been suspended for something before, something similar like that? Is he the severity of the play in question, the severity of any injury that might have come from it, and other suspensions that have factored in? You know, you're not going to be able to suspend a whole line of other players for the exact same thing, the exact same history. We'll give them a game or 2 and then give the next one 6. So the suspensions are mostly in line with each other. They'll factor those into play, but the severity of the play, any injuries that come from it, repeat offender status, there's a lot that they have to take into consideration before they come down to the final ruling.
But losing Sean Rios for the rest of that road trip, and I suppose tonight as well, is this the 6th game is tonight? My guess is, I mean, it did play a factor because he scores, and we didn't have
his stick, but we also didn't have the chemistry that comes with the line that he's been on. He's been playing with Miles Cooper, or we've moved Maddox McHaggerty in there when he's had a better night. Evan Friesen has played on a line with him here lately, so he's started to build some chemistry with guys on the team, as you would expect by this time of the season. So those guys now are used to playing with him. They look over to their right side, and he's not there for a few games. So now they have to adjust and get somebody else in line with the way that they play the game when they're on the ice, or adjust their game to the way somebody else plays. So there's a communication there, there's chemistry, there are things that are going to have to be on hold for the next few games until Sean comes back.
When do we get him back? Do we get him back Friday, or do we have to wait until...
We'll have to wait into next week before we get him back. We lost him for Friday, Saturday, and then we'll lose him for the 3 games this week. We'll get him back in the following week after our second game of back-to-back against Seattle.
Over the weekend, the Everett Silvertips clinched a playoff spot, the first team in the entire Western Hockey League, regardless of conference, to clinch a playoff spot. They have the best record in the entire WHL, so they're already in the playoffs. But they may have the best record, but the hottest team right now, the team that nobody wants to play, is the team we're playing tonight in the Lilac City, the Spokane Chiefs. They lost to Victoria in overtime over the weekend, but before that, they were knocking some heads around. These guys are good.
They really are good. They're making a run at the really at the WHL title and the Western Conference title this year. They've got a line, and they've come up large a lot since they came together. You talk about good chemistry. These guys have good chemistry with each other, and they play at a different speed. Andrew Crystal, Berkeley Catton, who's a Kraken prospect. Crystal's a Washington Capitals prospect, and Shea Van Olm is right up there. I think he might still be in the league lead for goals scored. That's their top 3 line. It might be the best combo in junior hockey right now, and they've got a goaltender at the back end in Dawson Cowan, who I think is going to be playing the sport for a very long time and probably making some money doing it. So it's a good team that brings a lot to the table. It's a team that we didn't play at 60 minutes enough on the road this past week, and I think that's got to change here tonight. We've seen it from these guys. They play well against good competition. These guys have beaten Everett twice.
Yeah, they've beaten Everett. They've beaten Portland, and nothing a few times. That's no slouch. They beat Tri-Cities. They've Spokane. I mean, we have a tendency to play to the level of our competition. Would you say that's a fair statement?
And these guys can play with Spokane. They've got to keep obviously they've got to keep the top 3 contained, but if they're able to do that and do things consistently, do things right for 60 minutes, there's no reason this group can't go on the road and grab one in front of a hostile crowd tonight.
You glad to be home?
Yes.
That's a haul. In your career of calling junior hockey, and you've been doing this for quite a while, is that like from just a sheer miles and games standpoint, is that the longest road trip you've ever been on?
I believe so. Certainly haven't done 6 games on the road without coming home in a row before. And 6 games in a 9-day trip. You got the day before to travel, you got the day after to travel. So gone for 11 days on the bus. This was a long stretch. I know the wind chill got down to 34 below at one point while we were up in Moose Jaw, I believe. So it was a long trip, a snowy trip, a cold trip. Glad to get home. Glad to get back into a routine and get back to work.
Of the 6 arenas that you visited on the road trip, any one of them stand out? Some of these are fairly historic. Some are pretty new. They're all big for the most part. Swift Current's kind of a little bit of a bandbox, but the rest of the arenas up there, they're pretty nice, aren't they?
It runs the gamut. Saskatoon is a 15,000 seat building. They built it in the late 80s, hoping to draw an NHL team in. That
I think they were trying to get the Blues.
They were trying to get the Blues, yeah, and that group never came in. Obviously, they've won a Stanley Cup since they decided to stay in St. Louis, and Saskatoon is their place is way up in the catwalks, and then you've got places like Swift Current, Prince Albert that are basically right on top of the ice. Smaller buildings than ours, and Moose Jaw I think was probably my favorite in terms of view, amenities, setup. It's a brand new building. It plays. It looks like a brand new building, and then you got Regina that really drips history. Not just the building itself. It's newer than some of the other buildings up there, but you're talking about a team that's been around since 1917. So they've got banners on the walls that are the banners are older than a lot of teams that they're playing against, and there's a ton of history up there to go with that.
Sounds like the back of my closet. Actually, it really does. 51 games in the books. We've already played 51 games.
I know, 3/4 of the way.
17 games to go, 8 at home, 9 away. As we mentioned already, we're at Spokane tonight, over and back, and then on Valentine's Day, we're into the home stretch, and we got to start. We got to hit the gas pedal, don't we?
We really do. There are 4 teams. We talked about the East Division that we played this past week, where there are 4 teams battling it out for a division title right now, and they're all within 5-6 points of each other. Anybody can win it. We are in the battle for an 8th place playoff spot, the last playoff spot in the Western Conference, and there are 4 teams that are within about 4 points of each other, and we're right up there at the top with, I believe, Seattle picked up a win over the weekend, so they're right up there. Kelowna's trying to stay in the mix. Kamloops has stayed in the mix pretty well, but every point matters, and we're not going to play our counterparts the rest of the way a whole lot. We get a couple games against Seattle, we get one against Kamloops, but we're done with Kelowna right now. So winning the other games on our schedule, besides taking those head-to-heads that we obviously have to win, taking the games on our schedule against the tough teams like Spokane, Prince George. We'll see Everett a couple of times at the end of the season, games that could decide whether we get into the playoffs or not. Every point matters, and these are games that we will need some help from other teams on, but we need to win our games and do our part.
We mentioned already we lost Mr. Rios to suspension. He won't be back for a while yet. Outside of that, who do we not have skating that we normally would see for injury reasons right now?
We're still working on getting Alex Garrett back from some injuries. We had some emergency backups that stepped in for us just in case this past week, and Brendan G played admirably in net. I know he was wishing he probably could have gotten a night off somewhere in there, but Brendan stepped up, played every second of every game for us on the road trip, and really had one of his best games of his career, I thought, against Swift Current to wrap up the trip. And that's the big one for us right now. We've got some minor injuries that we're still getting some guys back from, but right now having a second option in net, I think, is the most impactful one. We're still working Josh Fluker back from his injuries as well. So some couple key guys out on the back end is probably our biggest impact on that list right now.
We got about a minute left real quickly. Wenatchee Wild season tickets for next year are on sale. You get them now. We talked about this last week when we talked in our little Zoom call. I wanted to get that plug in there real quick. Valentine's Day, Friday night, home game, promotions. What's happening, my friend?
So we've got several different specials for that night. We've got our both of these are a ticket and a drink for just $20, but we call them our Galentine's special and our Swipe Right special. We'll put you in a special section with the singles and the other people who have bought tickets in that section already. But we've also got a buy one, get one free for couples who are coming to the game. And thanks to our friends at Microsoft up in Quincy, 200 free kids tickets. So we've got a special for the whole family. You can bring the kids for free, too.
Friday night, love is in the air. That's all we can sing, or we have to pay mechanical royalties. Austin Trade, Wenatchee Wild Hockey, a quick break, and then apparently he brought moose jaw weather with him. The weather forecast is next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel. It's the NCWLIFE Community Calendar, a presentation of Apple Valley Honda. The Special Olympics Washington Winter Games returns to the Wenatchee Valley for the 35th year, the weekend of February 28th. 900 volunteers are needed to assist more than 1,200 participants and coaches throughout its 3-day run. From assisting on the slopes of Mission Ridge to keeping score at basketball games, no special skill is required. To volunteer, please visit the website on the screen.
Highlander Golf Course and Grill, located in East Wenatchee, offers terrific views and challenging play for golfers at every skill level. From the golf course to the grill, you don't need to be a member to dine in style and play golf too. Highlander's well-groomed fairways and greens keep it difficult, yet friendly for your regular rounds of golf or a new destination for you and your out-of-town friends. Contact the Highlander Pro Shop today to schedule your tee time, outing, or tournament. Open 7 days a week, where everyone is welcome to play and eat.
The agents of Kennedy Real Estate Group are committed to providing the ideal client experience. We believe in the power of relationships. Why? Because we don't just work here, we live here. From the nonprofits we serve, the parks where we play, and the local businesses we support, our team understands the value of living in the Wenatchee Valley. Let's begin your real estate story.
Remember when you could afford to have fun on two wheels without breaking the bank? Maybe you started on a Honda Z50 or a Trail 70 or one of the most popular Hondas of all time, the Trail 90. Well, Honda and Doghouse Motorsports are making fun affordable again. Introducing the Honda Monkey, the Dax, and the new updated Trail 125, all featuring fuel-injected 4-stroke engines with electric start. The best part of all, they are affordably priced under $5,000. Whether you're just getting started or you want to get back at it, Doghouse Motorsports has you covered.
If you're just joining us, we have already set the record low temperature on this date. The old record was 12 degrees on February 11th. That was set back in 1981 and tied in 2019. If you remember February of 2019, that sucked. That was just a really bad February. So it's cold. It's 8 degrees right now in the big city. There is relief in sight. We just got to get there. As far as cold temperatures around the region, most of it is going to be relegated to the north of us in those narrow little valleys and into the northeast corridor of our state, like Republic. Bonners Ferry has been unbelievably cold. It's a dry cold. That's your trade-off there. But changes are finally going to come as we get to the weekend. We'll be warming up to near normal. Our normal afternoon high this time of the year is 40. That's a far cry from what we're going to see. But if you're getting tired of this cold weather, come Friday, we'll be done with the really cold weather. We're going to be 10 degrees warmer for our afternoon high on Friday than we're going to see on Thursday. And by the time we get to Saturday and Saturday night, we're looking at some snow here in the Wenatchee Valley and then a rain-snow mix as we push 40 degrees for next Monday for the holiday, President's Day. From the National Weather Service, 26 our forecast high today, which is exactly what we got to yesterday. 8 degrees for the overnight low tonight. That would be a record low again if we get there. 23 again on Wednesday. That's the coldest afternoon high, 7 degrees for the overnight low Wednesday night into early morning Thursday. Thursday, we start the transition. Late in the day, the clouds will start thickening up. And as you can see by the overnight low of 19, we'll have the blanket on. That'll make it tolerable anyway. And we start talking about a little bit of snow on Saturday. And finally, back up to normal on President's Day on Monday. That's it for us. Have a good and safe Tuesday. Don't forget to vote. Stay warm. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.